just getting those logos and putting them on your car isn't your creation. Welcome to the channel, I'm the friendly neighbourhood Mewmin, and you've just caught me creating some wrestlers on WWE 2K. We've got 2K25 around the corner, and this is the time of year that I am usually in the lab looking at what I can do a little bit differently. So I'm going to talk you through a few things that I think you should be doing to try and elevate your car or your create a wrestler game. And that's by a few things really. So if you are new to the channel, this channel is dedicated to everything car creation. If there's other wrestling games out there with decent creation tools, I'll be on them as well. But textures, logos, movesets, if it's original, this is the channel for it. So why don't you give me a like and subscribe, and comment in this video what you think of past videos and where you've known me from, that sort of thing. Anything in the comments does help this channel grow. So first off, try to be original. I've got Chad Hardy, as I'm going to show you in a second, just some stuff on Chad Hardy, you see him there. But he is an original creation. He does stand out from the crowd, and I do get quite a lot of praise for the creation. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because people have been asking me in comments on Facebook, on Twitter, Reddit, you name it where I'm on. People have been asking what's my thought process sometimes. So I know I broke it down slightly in another video. These are the tips that will help you elevate your game to the next level. So, as I said, try to be original. I mean, I've got Chad Hardy here. You can see on the back of on Chad Hardy, on one of his attires, he's got his own logos, he's got his own designs, and he goes by the moniker of being the Undisputed. So, if you have a look here on the tights here, you can see he's got a logo saying that he's Undisputed. So, custom logos and custom designs do help bring that aspect to life. But anybody can create a wrestler and slap some logos on it. It's great to be inspired. So I've got Chad Hardy. He's kind of inspired by the likes of Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, New Japan, Strong Style, people that have always thought why they're not in WWE when they could be. Has the big matches, that sort of thing. But I've put my own spin on it. He's got custom logos, bring out the character, and look that I want, and I've generated this character. And he gets over nearly 1,000 downloads a year off the Unity creation. So I do know it does work. I mean, you could be inspired, say, by the NWO. I mean, that's what the Bullet Club was, and the Bloodline and stuff like that. But just getting those logos and putting them on your car isn't your creation. That's just your creation has joined that faction. And sometimes if you try and just maybe tweak something, be inspired, but don't copy is what I would say. So yeah, I am inspired by the likes of Kenny Omega and stuff like that when I've generated Chad Hardy, but it's kind of original in its concept as well. I mean, the background to him as well, which you can use in your commentary. I mean, he was a Hardy brother at first, grew out of their shadow and went on the indie circuits and stuff like that. Kind of like Cody Rhodes did before Cody Rhodes did it with his list. Anyway, I mean, you can use commentary if you are, and I've done videos on Universe Mode, but commentary does build a good story to tell you where that person's come from, where they're going as well. So you add a bit of an element to the character. And that leads me to the moveset as well. So I'm going to go into the moveset now, but the moveset can actually help bring the character out. You've got to think as well, a luchador isn't going to be doing many big moves, and your 7-foot monster isn't likely going to be jumping off the top rope or one-toning people, for example. And where you can get really into the movesets, I would say, is kind of like in the taunt specifically. Now, sorry, the taunts can, I do feel, help bring out the character as well. So I've got this wrestler here. He's a bit of a he's a luchador. He's all about to the crowd. So his taunts do actually help when bringing out the character as well, I feel. And you can have a look. I mean, if you had someone who was kind of primal or bestial, you can have them screaming. And if you've got someone who's quite cocky, you can have them doing cocky taunt, that sort of thing. You've got like the Ludwig one when he puts his arm behind his back and that sort of thing. You know, royalness, sort of like etique to the character. Taunts really do work for that. Morphs. So I've gone over morphs before. You really, really want to be getting to grips with your morphs. You don't want your cars just looking like Daddy Default when you are creating those all-important superstars. So if I'm going in to do a new superstar here at the moment, you will see quickly if you just do some morphing how much it and the face texture part, how much it can actually change. So you've got plenty of face textures to work with, face templates. Let's just use him for now. You've got plenty of face textures you can work with as well within the game. And this is if you haven't got any face textures you've uploaded yourself. And you've got the facial parts, which includes wrinkles and blemishes. So let's add a wrinkle onto his forehead. And that sort of thing. And then just let's have a nasal fold, make him a bit older. So straight away you can see we've developed some things in the face already. And then don't sleep on the all-important face deformation. let's make him a bit angrier. Let's make him a bit angrier. Well, more surprised there, I think. We tilt these bits down. Probably makes him angry. Yeah, it does. I'm going to give him a nose job. I'm going to make his nose a little just slimmer. And again, he's angry, so I'm going to bring the lips down. Equally enough, I actually did research facial expressions to get what I want, and I want him to be a bit more elongated down here. So yeah, I googled facial expressions and what even like Latinos look generally have, like and what Chinese people generally have in the face. So when I am morphing people, I can actually try and morph it to the look that I'm wanting. And as you can see straight away, although not perfect, it hasn't got thing, so I might probably bring that down a bit just so it looks more interesting. But we set off with a face texture there, and instead of just being the daddy default, we've done quite wonders to say in game we don't have that kind of thing in there. So yeah, the morph, without question, is one of the most important things that you can be doing. Now, textures. You knew, if you come onto my channel, if you've been following me for some time, if you haven't, everything's down there below to like, subscribe. This channel does go on about textures quite a lot, but more in particular, I also do question nipples, body textures, hair textures, you name it, it is on this channel. And I'm not on about just making sure your textures are great. I mean, you can tell from the likeness on here, and people have already said this is based off Negan. Now, I use a mixture of AI, Photoshop, well, Affinity Design is what I use, and all sorts of things like that to bring out the best of my CAWs. I'm going to have a video on how to do the body textures to make sure they match the colour of the face. But especially if you morph and use a texture at the same time, you're going to get much better. Especially if you're doing real life people, the morphing is really important. You need to take sides, front, maybe even, you know, just have a look at the face and then implement that with the morph. Quality face texture and the morph. You can't just do one or the other if you're doing someone real life. The textures can make a massive difference. You can add facial hair, you can add hair textures, you can have body textures. So I'm just going to show you like what happens with hair textures, for example. I do use one quite often, and people joke it's probably the most used or most important piece of texture you can use. I'm going to find it now for you and you'll just see what I mean. There it is. That's the most important piece of hair texture you can use. If I wanted to maybe just give him a bit of a Alex Shelley kind of thing going on, can do that. So that shows you how that can be effective. And if I go to the body texture, obviously it mixes in with his face. That's an important part there. But if I go here and look at the body without the texture, straight away it looks a lot different. Yeah, so body textures, all sorts of textures do work very, very well. Finally, just think outside the box. I touched on like using daddy defaults and research and stuff like that, but you can actually work smarter, not harder. Now, you can even start just by thinking of concepts. So I've got one in my head at the moment, maybe using chest pieces as the attire design. Don't steal this, by the way. This is new for 2K25. I will send lawyers around to your house. So I'm thinking of creating somebody that has chest pieces influenced onto his attire, which then leads me to learn a bit more about the chest pieces and why they're called what they're called, the lore of that sort of thing. So I'll build a character around maybe a chosen chest piece and go from there. But I've got a wrestler called Ado Noir. His surname is actually from Irish royal descendancy, and sometimes you just want to have that little bit of detail and look out on your especially when you're doing your research. Do research before you even create. That's something that I do, and that's why a lot of mine are quite unique. Although, as well, I said work smarter, not harder. You can use AI to give you some really good prompts. Axel Renegade here, all set off from A-High, with the concept of being a high flyer and a fan of the Hardy Boys and that sort of stuff, and quickly became known as the Renegade. And the Renegade lent me and the person I collabed with called CAWs to do that as well. I'll just show you what I mean. Actually, I've just got him up on the screen there. And yeah, it just think outside the box. You can work smarter, not harder. I don't rely on AI for logos and stuff, but you can learn a lot from this channel on creating something. Don't sleep on AI, because I have my limitations when I am creating and stuff, but sometimes you just need that extra little help, and your friend the neighbourhood Mewmin's here for that. So that pretty much wraps up the video for me. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your evening, day, or whenever it is you come follow this video. Bit about me, you can follow the links below in the description. I've got Discord, I've got Patreon, paid and free versions and things you can use on there. I am quite active on Reddit recently, and I've also got Twitter as well. All the links to everything will be in the description below. Why don't you check out another video? So we said textures and morphing is probably one of the best things on this video. I've got 2 videos out from, and I'll have a new one for 2K25 about morphing and the latest texture craze. Took me less than 3 minutes to have a face texture done, so you might want to check that video out. And we've got something coming up on Twitch with the Invasion CAW pay-per-view. So I'm going to do a pay-per-view event. It's called Invasion, and it's going to be your CAWs versus my CAWs. So get in the links, get in the description below, post your CAW name, and if you are commenting on this video, you win with a better chance of actually appearing on that stream. I'll announce that soon on Twitter, so make sure you're following there. Again, I'm friendly neighborhood Mewmin. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'll see you on the next.